Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to LEGO City Undercover. Let's continue. So, I was going to leave this island, but then I looked at the map to indicate where the next, the last character token is on this island. I think we may have, we may just have to deal with me going through a bit of a system here where we do an area, we get almost everything, and then we have to come back and check a walkthrough, which that's not the typical way I want to play a LEGO game. I would want to be able to get it completely done. So my understanding is that there's a character token, according to the map, somewhere over in this general area, but I am not seeing it. Let's drive that car out of the way. There it is. Okay, so that was a little bit more difficult than it probably should have been. And I destroyed everything. So, what I need to do, and this is inevitably not how you're supposed to do this, but we'll do it this way anyways, is that. And that's Gemma Jones. Alright. So now that puts us where we have everything on Apollo Island collected, as far as I can tell. So our next thing we want to do is we want to get in here, which the best way to do that, I think, is to fast travel here. There clearly are some fast travel locations that are missing. But we'll deal with those, I think, in some distant point in the future. There's definitely stuff in this area. But let's see, we need to, I think the best thing we can do is steal this car and then boost our way through this road. And we've got the Super Smash car ability. Alright. We need to get into this underground tunnel. And once we're in the underground tunnel, like at this point, this is where we need to just jump out and start scanning. Because there's a red brick in this underground tunnel, I assume. And there's, I suspect, a... Interesting how the nav studs disappeared. I assume that there's some other things. Alright, axe guy, fireman. There's the final red brick. Do we get any notification that we've got all the red bricks now? No. Here's a super brick, and it's questionable whether collecting all the super bricks does anything, or whether that's even a setup. Seems like everything on this side is firemen, and everything on the other side is criminals. So we're gonna have to flip back and forth. I probably should take a moment to find out if I'm if I'm missing anything. So we'll see. We've got a super brick here, super brick here. There's a red brick. So I didn't collect a red brick before. I don't know what I just collected then. Well, this is a Rex thing, so clearly this has got to be the red brick. Which means this is also a red brick we would have gotten last. Super drill ride. Will we get any notification that Liberty Island is now unlocked? This design is pretty pathetic. In all honesty, it's just like jump back and forth, do the same thing over and over again. I suppose this is a decent place to go if you were just trying to get a bunch of super bricks, but I don't think there's any specific reason like to get a bunch of super bricks early. You'll get them just fine otherwise. There's far too much of this going on, and even though we have the red bricks enabled that would let us speed this process up, it's not particularly that good. There's a vehicle, Rex's Galician. Right. Let's again look back and make sure we haven't missed anything. That looks right. And then let's look forward and see if we've missed anything, and I think the answer to that is probably no. Ever since I started pulling out the scanner, I've noticed that it does kind of just hover in where things are. It hovers in your hand. Alright, so it seems to me like we are done with this area. So let's set this as our next location to go to, Paradise Island, and let's see if we can just run around that area and mostly get everything. While we're at it, we'll turn on extra hearts, which the extra hearts ability is really terrible. It really is. Like, it only makes sense if you get it really, really early, and I don't think very many people are going to get it very early. It should be the first red brick that you ever collect in the game. It should be a stupid easy red brick to find, but it kinda isn't. Alright, we've got a barbecue fire over here. Can we hit this? I can't go back into scan mode until things have been done. Let's see. Let's kind of investigate over here.
Oh great. I'm completely lost.
I feel like this game in particular would be better suited if we ran into more random characters in certain areas instead of the same collection of like 20 characters. I imagine that the secret to this is actually the game engine can't handle that many different textures, so the minifigs we see walking around here and in the same generic clothing probably couldn't be much more varied. On the other hand, I would also argue that there's a decent thought that could be said about just reducing the number of people in general. Alright. See if we can find this. Just jump over it. Interesting. That's not something you see very often in LEGO games. There probably are some vehicle challenges around here also. Let's see, we've arrived at our destination. We'll build another one of these. The super build constructions are kind of a high priority. I could imagine myself jumping around a bunch of these and seeing if that triggers something. There's activate 14 ticket machines. Let's go over here. Need a coffee break. There's a bit of a problem on just how slow all of this is. The balance is off. I feel like in comparison to like LEGO Marvel Superheroes, where you're running around Manhattan, there were at times where it was downright difficult to figure out where the next thing was, whereas this seems to revel in having a ton of stuff next to each other, which causes it in part to take too long to do anything.
I should get a juice.
So we've got two more of these that we need to break and build. Which I assume is one of these. I don't believe there's ever been a LEGO sandcastle, like something that's giant. That'd be kind of an interesting build, honestly. It does have a problem of a lot of brown bricks, certainly, but yeah. There's kind of been a carnival-esque settings, so some small collection of those. Yeah, we're in a large danger here. There's too many surfboards. Where's that marker? It's here. 2 out of 3. Let's go this way. This feels rather reminiscent of LEGO Batman 2, an entire carnival area. Interesting, we're even getting special music playing. which that's not something that we do too much of. So you get the cat, you pull out a white hat, you put the cat in the white hat. It's rather loud incidental music, considering there hasn't been anything else. And that's pointing it out, telling me I need to ride the thing to get to the character. So you have to kind of wait. This is like first person too, so this may cause some motion sickness. I can't go into scan mode right now, so I can kind of control the camera a little bit, but it's keeping me locked in pretty well. This is a cool idea, and certainly something I haven't seen in any other LEGO game, but it's not very LEGO-y, to say the least, and it's cut outside of first-person mode to show me this. There is a set that came out that is a roller coaster like this. It's kind of a little light on pieces for its cost, and it's kind of a little generic. Best I've seen the use of it is that you would buy 2 or 3 of the sets and rebuild it to make it a little bit bigger of a roller coaster. But definitely not a terrible set, particularly if you're coming from the perspective of of somebody who's mostly done LEGO City builds. But it definitely was not in the level of a expert set, which is kind of where we're from. Now that we have the super jackhammer drill, these missions should be a little bit easier. Right, I'm starting one way. Yeah, and we are moving way faster. Make sure we get everything we can get. And then run back this way. And then we'll get the rest of this. And then we'll run back this way. I missed 2. Where's the 2 I missed? It's 1. There's 1 over here too. Well, I had plenty of time. There might be an achievement for eating the food in these. I would have to kind of do some research here. Like there is an achievement for eating, I think, 3 concession stand foods. Wasn't there a concession stand over here? I swear there was. Kind of disappeared on me. Alright, we've got this still to deal with.
Amazing.
We're gonna ride the Viking boat, I suppose. Or we're not gonna ride the Viking boat. That's a little bit of a shame.
I better finish it tonight.
This is really where LEGO City, more than anything, like, shows its potential value. Is you could have something like an amusement park, whereas in most cases that would not be acceptable, or it would just not be thematically correct. Alright. So is this perhaps going to let me fly upward? No. So I'm thinking maybe I have to run on the rail. Got some TNT over here, but I don't know what the TNT is really for. Alright, let's do this. Well, immediately I fell off. Looks like the red is knocked in some awkward way. It probably has a lot to do with the physics of the game. Alright, let's jump over here so nothing hits us and knocks us off. See, it fixed itself once you get away from it. Alright. Doesn't really feel like there's a blue thing to grab the ledge on. So this must be some kind of helicopter spot or something. Like, the best case I could try to do is jump here and then jump up there. And that's still not high enough. I don't think that there's anything else that can be done. There is something here. Maybe this fixes the swinging Viking thing. So maybe this is gonna toss us all the way off the thing. Swinging back and forth, and no first person perspective this time. Back and forth. And that was that. There is a jump in the water over this way.
I shouldn't have eaten that.
I don't know how that would affect things though. There's a boulder to destroy under this section. We're making progress. A little slow, but surely we're making progress. So that's the Orion Park. So that might be where one of the achievement was, to eat concession stands, or eat concessions at the concession stands. Right. I see a red color gun. And I see kinda nothing else. So this should be our next move. We're getting most of the things done.
Ouch!
Of course, again, this is by skipping that one thing I couldn't figure out how to do. We're opening ourselves up to having to look at a map and try and figure out where the next thing is. Or cheat more than I really shouldn't have to cheat, considering we have this scan mode. Alright. Looks like this foreground area is mostly covered. So we'll come to this background area and see what we're doing. Painting all the roses, or all the flowers the right color. That's almost an Alice in Wonderland reference. So we unlock a hula dancer because of that. Alright. Is there something else to scan? What's the circle? There's an alien at the top of that building. Oh, the circle is actually a window. Alright. So how would one reach the top of that building?
Wait that long.
Like, I feel like you can get up here. Maybe you can get up there if that's not an invisible wall. Nope, that's an invisible wall. There is a lot of incidental music playing around this area. There's kind of nothing here. And I don't think I even collected anything. I don't think I've even been in this section. Which, again, that's just like evidence that they had clearly some areas developed earlier than others, so they placed all the collectibles in those places. Generally speaking, a good strategy that I think is used quite a bit in games is they would just put purple studs in a lot of places, and then they would convert the purple studs manually into gold bricks and other more valuable collectibles. I think what this is going to boil down to is, well, just cheese it this way, but I don't think this was the intended way to get up there by any means. There's a lot of color gun stations in this. There you go. There's the thing we need to reach. How do we get up there? Let's run this way. See, I can kind of land on the door. And I guess I can land on these lanterns. That's definitely not the way they intended for that to happen, though. Right. This might have been the alien that got away before. Alright, so down we go. And off he goes. And we can try to shoot him. And Let's see if that works. Hey, we're almost up to 200 gold bricks. It's actually rather shocking that we have so few gold bricks. Like, for as many as there are. If you told me there was only 300 in the entire game and we were almost to 200, that would make a lot more sense. Because I have to make sure I am seeing everything correctly. Yeah, there's another thing over here. And then we don't get the win animation. Right. Climb up here. And we'll grab this. Then we do get the win animation.
What day is it?
Seriously, though, who wants to play as the doorman? Who thinks that's an interesting minifig? Like, and I have no idea who that character is, but I suspect he might be another gay stereotype character. Considering the pink flamingos. There's a vehicle challenge up there. So it seems like there's a couple of things on top of this building that need to be done. Just jump up and then boost, jump up and then boost, jump up, and we'll see which of these things we need to do first. That's already green. Let's see where this teleporter takes us. Hopefully it doesn't teleport us somewhere we don't need to be. That just teleports us to the next area. And the next area is not major concern. Interesting that we can read the Starfish Hotel there, but we don't read most of the other things. Alright, let's see what the Starfish Hotel looks like in regular. Yeah, it's just all in yellow. Kind of like a glowing yellow. But you don't see like the glowing blue waves. Oh, you do. Interesting. So the neon lights oddly seem to do the things. Right. Let's do this. We've gone about 30 minutes and things are going slowly but surely. Scan to locate a suspect. We haven't done many of these. Okay. So we're actually doing a police chase, which I'd argue this is something police do a decent amount depending on what area you're in. Some police, like in California, have decided to stop chasing people because it's not safe, and they'll just catch them later. particularly if they have the license plate and they know who it is. Like there's that's a great example of just how devastating being hit by a car is for somebody on a motorcycle, and how incredibly unsafe it is to be on the road on a motorcycle. Like they're fun things, but I've heard many people say, like, as soon as they heard one of their friends get hurt on one, they've lost any desire to drive them. The rubber banding here is bad, so I don't know if I'm supposed to smash this guy or what.
If you don't mind, I have somewhere else I gotta be.
What was I supposed to do there? That didn't make any sense. Like that totally didn't make any sense. You're not supposed to catch him until you get in the car, obviously. I missed a couple of curves and tight corners that maybe would have let me crash into him. But that's kind of it. It's also a little dishonest and disingenuous that a helicopter would bring you a vehicle just as you need it in any scenario. Although that might not be a terrible thing for like a futuristic technology if we still had roads but so few people drove cars and most people took like public transport. A automated drone-like helicopter that would deliver a small eco car. Alright, this time I think I may have it.
If you don't mind, I have somewhere else I gotta be.
I got him, but boy did that feel rigged. I felt difficultly rigged. Well, we're now in this area, so we might as well do as many things in this area too, or just run around in circles. Where's the color gun guy? Now we've got to pick up the gong and gong it.
Stayed up so late. Hey.
I didn't realize that was going to bring the pig down, but whatever. So what we kind of learned from the chase sequence, and I think that's true for any of the sequences where you're going to have to stand in one place and scan, is that is going to take you to a different area. So if you're not ready to leave that area, you shouldn't do those actions. So I'll have to go back and run around that section later on. In the back there was a blinking red like door to like an underground area over there. I see. it like pops in and then pops out. Pops in, pops out. And see, that might have been an exit area where we exited out of the fire department, I would imagine. Definitely can't see anything on the glaring light levels. There's something this direction. We'd been kind of all over this place, and I'm a little surprised by how much stuff I missed, which again, that's part of the problem, is that
Why did I have to choose a diet that stops me eating chocolate?
there's potentially some things that might be unlocking later on, and if they are unlocking later on, then they're not going to be collectible in one easy run. So unless this breaks into some kind of key, I don't know how we're supposed to get over to this. Let's see where this teleporter takes us. I bet it takes us either to the top or inside. Takes us to the top. Takes us to the top of the other building, actually. Then it wants me to fly to this clock tower. And then we've got 3 gold things and a color gun, so maybe if I shoot this so it's the right color, you can't jump and shoot, and I'm frankly having trouble hitting it. There it goes. That opens it, and then I imagine that will open the gates once we're on the inside. So you just jump straight down. Nice. Not a terrible collection of things to do. This next thing. Find more balloons that need to be painted. Look up, look down, keep a general idea of where we're supposed to be going. That's another vehicle police challenge, so we should probably do it because we're in a bit of a empty area. I'd already cleaned off most of this. So I avoided doing this before because I didn't want to go through the hassle without all the red bricks and everything. So somebody's stealing the fire truck. So am I supposed to jump down here, or was there a faster way to start this whole thing? Is this guy gonna be on foot? Where's the guy? I feel like I did this completely wrong. I don't even know where he is. Did he run this direction?
They'll be fine.
Where is he? Is there perhaps a certain distance if I go away I'll fail the mission? No, he's the other way. Yeah, well I failed this mission, so let's do an experiment and then just go as far as possible to see what happens. I was going towards a green fast travel station. Alright, the robber has escaped. Let's try this again. Seriously? This is where you're gonna start me? Alright. Clearly I was supposed to slide on the rope, and I did not get that part. I forgot about that part, I just jumped forward. I think that's reasonable that a kid would make that mistake. You can even see in the shadow on the right that there's a car being helicoptered in. Yeah, that is definitely different. I'll just drive on the wrong side of the road and drive through some stuff. I'm gonna have trouble catching up though. This is seemingly these aren't programmed very well.
Hope they're okay.
There you go.
Out of my way!
There you go. Got him. Thank goodness for the grapple gun. And we're just in another area. So, wherever we end up, that is where we are. Let's see. There's all kinds of stuff, so let's come over here and get it. This kind of financial district area in particular is a pain in that butt. Let's go ahead and try this. Of course, the problem with this is you're going to have to kind of know where you're going. And if you don't know where you're going, which is exactly how this is playing out right now, you're going to run into problems. You have to hit all these timers. Even if you don't need the time, you still have to hit them. And I don't have a time for a coffee break. 5 of 6. Is that the right way? No. Little micro stutter there. Oh, although at this point I'm willing to stop calling them micro stuttering and just call it straight up lagging. There we go. Because particularly in this game, it isn't just a half-second hitch, or even if it was a half-second hitch, that's more than a stutter really should be. That's annoying. I kind of wanted to be at the top of the building. There's at least a coffee break at the top of this building. There. We're halfway up this building. And then so you end up doing things like this, which let's think about. Let's take a moment and scan. We've got thing here, thing here, thing here. We've got a Steel 13 vehicle thing that I guess I can't do yet. And then the coffee break is kind of over there. So there's nothing here. Let's fly down here and collect that. Climb this up. Then I think if I manage not to kill myself, should be able to reach this. And then come over here and do this. Yeah, this is another great example of they knew there were going to be a couple of buildings because they were going to have the free run on that building, and then they just crammed that one building with a bunch of other things, where honestly it probably should be the exact opposite of that. It probably should be a case where there's a much smaller number of things to do on a free run building, and the other things to do are instead on other buildings or just on the surface in general. There's very little we're finding just like here. Of course that would be a little weird if there was something there too, but here we have a Van Gogh painting with flickering colors. This might be one of the statues. One of the 5 statues you have to get. And it might be these statues that unlock Liberty Island. It would make sense logically. I really hate that it's flickering like that, though. I don't think it's supposed to. Like that really looks like it's more of a glitch than anything. Like there's something in his brush that's flickering. Right. So, how does one land on that platform? I bet you have to do something here and then hover. These plants take way too long to grow. I would definitely have changed the animation there and made it just a quick springing motion. Just it shoots up like crazy. There's the pig. There's more things here. There's more things here. I guess it's more intelligent to get the things that aren't gonna send you in a different direction. Don't need Rex for this. This might just teleport you to the artist's palette. Well, that's weird. It just teleported you to Lady Liberty Island. That's incredibly strange. I guess there was some idea there that this would you couldn't get there until you had Rex, but that's kind of out of nowhere. If you were gonna do something like that, you wouldn't just have it in a financial district. You would have it right where the police station is, right where you like right behind the police station or something like that. That made it very obvious. There's clearly a lot of things on the ground here. This would be the one experimental place where you're gonna have to have most of your things on the ground. Oh, I'm not tapping B. That's why it's taking so long. Don't need TNT. You can't start the coffee break. Now originally, when this was a Wii U game, there was a character token here for Mario. So it'll be interesting to see if this unlocks Mario, or if there's another character token that unlocks a Mario, or if this unlocks some PC equivalent character. Security Supervisor, a terrible replacement for Mario. If this is actually a Mario skin, this would be, I think, the first legitimate, as in somebody didn't just steal Mario skins and put them in their game without licensing it. This, I believe, would be the first legitimate instance of a Nintendo property being in a PC game, or on Steam in particular. I know Bayonetta 2, I'd love to see that come to PC. Maintenance worker. But Bayonetta 2 did have some exclusive skins, Nintendo skins, so it would be kind of disappointing if it did come to PC and those skins were missing. It'd be a little disappointing. I'd still much prefer to have the game on PC and run smoother and better, which is exactly what it would almost certainly happen unless it was programmed terribly, compared to playing on the Wii U or whatever it was originally for. As far as other games that would even be close to having a Mario or Nintendo property in it, there kind of is nothing. Like, there's been some indie games that have, in one way or another, gotten funding from Nintendo. But yeah, nothing really. It's kind of a shame that, like, the Valve the company that owns Steam is in Redmond, Washington. Nintendo of America is in Redmond, Washington. It really would be a case of them just having to basically walk down the street and form some kind of deal or partnership where Mario would show up in one of Valve's games like Portal or something like that, and it just kind of never happens. There might be some internal reasons for that, but it doesn't make a lot of sense, because if there was one company that Valve wouldn't want to do business with, it would be Microsoft, because Microsoft is the company that Gabe Newell, the person in charge of Valve and founder of Valve, I'm pretty sure, worked at Microsoft and did not like the corporate culture, and thus Valve is kind of the opposite corporate culture to Microsoft, where Microsoft is very demanding, and they used to do stack ranking, which was this terrible system that meant there always had to be a loser in every department, and so somebody was always getting demoted, punished, or not getting raised, often with really little good reasoning behind it. But when the orange box happened, the orange box definitely came out for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation, and Sony Interactive Entertainment, the PlayStation division, didn't really have an office anywhere. I don't even know if they had an American office really until they very recently opened and moved their headquarters to California. Before then, it was Sony of Japan basically running the show, and honestly, it probably would have been better if Sony of Japan stayed running the show. But when the orange box came out, it was also on the PlayStation 3. In fact, I believe I actually played at least a little bit of the orange box, Portal in particular, on the PlayStation 3. So then you have to kind of assume that the reason why there haven't been any Nintendo properties on PC is because Nintendo has no desire to do that, and I think that is the obvious right assumption to make. And it's so slow. I wish you could turn off all these animations. Is that Ellie? It'd be kind of bad if you unlock Ellie now. Feels like she should have unlocked a lot earlier than that. But I'm not sure she has. Yeah, that's Ellie. Wow. Acting as the information girl at Liberty Island. As she also acts as just the information girl in the entire game. Yep. Discover the super build. Go and build whatever boat this is. This is a ferry. We've seen this ferry before, so I guess this probably means we've unlocked a fast travel spot. Let's see what this does when we can. Yeah. Ferry route activated. 2 out of 3. Alright. But it doesn't seem like the ferry routes are useful. I'm really cheating this. We've unlocked a free run that we haven't done before. Which that's the way to do it if you can do it that way, is cheat the system, get to the end of the free run, hit the token to unlock the free run, and then do it just once. Of course, that requires you to become this expert in manipulating the physics and the way these games play, jumping and platforming. So there's our free run, and we've got a couple more things, and then I think what we're gonna have to admit to ourselves is that we're not going to be able to get everything done. Troublemaker Tim. I have no idea who that would be. Alright, so here is Conquer 20 districts, and as far as I can see, I don't really see another character thing. So either the Mario token has been replaced by a generic token, a character token, or there's something that we'll collect that I just can't see. There's a vehicle that we'll get when we slide down. Suppose we could jump on the other side of this wall and go into scan mode and see if that changes our perspective any. Investigate clues, free run, nothing more. Nope, it pretty much seems like if there is a collectible, it's right on the head of the Statue of Liberty, so we can't find it. The map might actually tell us. Yeah, it says there are 2 more characters and 2 more vehicles and 3 more red bricks. As far as the mini things that we have to do, we need to plant the flag and do the free run race and do the regular vehicle race, and then that's it, and then we'll have that area done. We've clearly got a lot that we need to do in this area, and we're just going to kind of go in circles until we start hitting sections that we just know we've gotten everything done. And we're just going to be kind of open world and free about it, because that's just like the most efficient way for all of this to work. Eventually we may have to lock it down and start looking at a guide if there's only 1 or 2 areas to collect things. It's not going to be as tight as doing Apollo Island or as doing Albatross Island, though, because once these areas became connected, so maybe all of these should have been their own little islands and LEGO City was just a archipelago of islands. That might have been a better design to keep things a little bit more contained, or even if they were actually physically connected into one big island, maybe there's like long stretches of connecting tunnels, which they did some of that, but not enough. Or maybe what they're doing is exactly the right thing to do. It probably is, to have the whole world just continuous. That's what you would want in an open world experience. Anyways, we now have all the red bricks, so we really don't need to point that out anymore. We have 8 billion studs, 500,000 bricks, 144 characters. I suspect we could unlock some characters, and I don't know if that would increase that number or not. Then 61 of 120 vehicles and 216 of 450 red gold bricks. That is the number one concerning issue here, is that there really just seems like we should have a lot more gold bricks, that we should be closer to 300. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.